Let us read from Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verses 1 to 4. The words of the preacher, the son of David, a king in Jerusalem. Vanity of vanities, says the preacher, vanity of vanities, all is vanity. What does man gain by all the toil at which he toils under the sun? A generation goes and a generation comes, but the earth remains forever. All things are full of weariness, a man cannot utter it. The eye is not satisfied with seeing, nor the ear filled with hearing. What has been is what will be, and what has been done is what will be done. And there is nothing new under the sun. Is there a thing of which it is said, see, this is new? It has been already in the ages before us. There is no remembrance of former things, nor will there be any remembrance of later things yet to be among those who come after. A man had spent years of his life climbing the corporate ladder. Long hours, sleepless nights amidst family gatherings. He sacrificed everything for success. Finally, after decades of effort, he reached the top. The title, the office, the recognition, it was all his. And yet one evening as he sat alone in his office, the question rose in his heart, is this it? It's a question many people ask. After all the striving, all the achieving, all the living, is there any meaning to this life? That question echoes through the ancient words of Ecclesiastes. The writer begins with the declaration, vanity of vanities, says the preacher, vanity of vanities, all is vanity. The word vanity here translates the Hebrew word hevel, a vapor, a breath, something fleeting. It's like trying to grasp mist in your hands. The book of Ecclesiastes is not afraid to ask the hard questions. It looks at life under the sun. This phrase, repeated again and again in this book, describes life viewed only from an earthly perspective, limited to what we can see, touch, and experience in this world. And from that perspective, life can feel strangely empty. The teacher describes the rhythms of the world. Generations come and go. The sun rises and sets. The wind circles endlessly and rivers flow into the sea, yet the sea is never full. Everything moves, everything continues, but nothing seems to arrive anywhere. It's motion without progress, activity without ultimate fulfillment. Our lives may feel like that too. The routines of life can begin to feel like a treadmill. Wake up, work, eat, sleep, repeat. Achieve one goal only to chase another. Even the things we once longed for can lose their shine once we have them. The writer goes deeper. All things are full of weariness. A man cannot utter it. The eye is not satisfied with seeing, nor the ear filled with hearing. Verse 8. There's something in us that keeps reaching, keeps wanting more. It's never enough. And so he declares, there is nothing new under the sun. At first, this might sound exaggerated. After all, technology advances, culture change, new ways of life emerge. But the writer isn't talking about inventions. He's talking about the human condition. Inside, we remain exactly the same that we have been from the dawn of time. Our struggles, desires, fears, and brokenness remain remarkably the same. Ambition, injustice, longing, mortality, these are not new. Therefore, the teacher observes, there is no remembrance of former things, nor will there be any remembrance of later things yet to be among those who come after. We do not learn from history or from past sins. We do not remember the fleeting nature of human greatness. We forget that we will soon be forgotten. Achievements that seemed monumental are eventually swallowed by time. At this point, Ecclesiastes can sound almost hopeless, a declaration that life is ultimately meaningless, a cycle of effort and fading, striving and forgetting. But the key lies in the phrase under the sun. The writer is intentionally limiting the perspective to show us what life looks like if the world is all there is. If there is nothing beyond this present life, then his conclusions make sense. For work becomes repetitive, pleasure fades, achievements are temporary, death is the great leveler. Yet, Ecclesiastes is not promoting despair, it's exposing a reality. It strips away illusions, it exposes shallow optimism. It tells the truth about what life feels like when it is disconnected from eternity. Romans 8 echoes this idea. It tells us that creation itself has been subjected to futility. Romans 8, verse 20 to 22. But it goes on to reveal that creation is groaning together in the pains of childbirth until now. This is the crucial point. This futility is not meaningless, it is filled with hope. Creation is not just on perpetual repeat mode, it is longing, it is groaning. There is a deeper ache within the world and within us that heralds the onset of something momentous. Paul says that creation waits with eager longing for restoration. This stands in striking contrast to the sense of frustration described in Ecclesiastes. What if the cycles of life are not evidence that nothing matters, but a signboard to eternal significance outside them? What if the dissatisfaction we feel is not a flaw, but a signal? The writer of Ecclesiastes observes that nothing under the sun satisfies. Romans 8 explains why we were made for more than what is under the sun. That restlessness in your heart, the sense that something is incomplete, that even the best experiences don't fully satisfy, that is not an accident. It is a reflection of how you were designed. You are created for eternity. Without that perspective, life can feel like a closed loop, but with it, everything begins to open up. Because the Bible doesn't end with Ecclesiastes. From Genesis to Revelation, we see a larger picture unfold. Creation began with goodness, but the fall introduced brokenness and futility. Yet, God has not abandoned his creation. His plan of redemption gives us the promise that one day all things will be made new. In John 17, verse 3, the Lord's words are, "This is eternal life, that they know you, the only true God, and Jesus Christ, whom you have sent." Eternal life is not just about duration, it's about knowing God. We realize why meaning is not found in chasing fleeting vapors, because it lies in knowing the one who is eternal. Ecclesiastes diagnoses the problem. Wealth doesn't satisfy. Success doesn't last. Pleasure doesn't complete us. It clears away the false hope we tend to cling to. And in doing so, it prepares our hearts for a deeper truth that meaning must come from beyond this world. When a person comes to know Christ, life is no longer confined to under the sun. There is a new perspective, a new identity, a new direction. As Paul writes in Colossians 3:1-3, "If you have been raised with Christ, seek the things that are above. Set your minds on things that are above, not on things that are on earth. For you have died, and your life is hidden with Christ in God." This doesn't mean we ignore our daily lives. It means we see them differently. The ordinary becomes meaningful because it is connected to something eternal. Our work, our relationships, our choices are no longer just part of a temporary cycle. They become part of God's unfolding plan. Even the struggles we face take on new meaning. They are no longer pointless frustrations, but moments with a larger story, a story that is moving toward restoration and glory. Life has purpose because it comes from God. It has direction because He calls us. It has redemption because of Christ, and it has a future because eternity is real. And we are not just observers of the story, we are participants. We are invited into a relationship with God, to walk with Him, to know Him, and to live with a hope that goes beyond what we can see. So don't ignore that question. Is this all there is? That question is a call to look beyond the surface, to seek what truly satisfies the purpose behind the longing in your heart. It's an invitation to discover that your longing has a purpose, and the one who began the story is faithful to bring it to completion. Our lives matter not because of our achievements under the sun, but because we live with God when the sun no longer exists. Let the truth shape our way of life, our hopes for the future, our perspective for each moment. For we are not just moving in circles, we are moving toward eternity. God bless.